Hello and welcome to the Sway Bees, no bees bought, British treatment free beekeeping. So if you just found this channel, then welcome. This is going to be my vlog on treatment free beekeeping with only swarm caught bees. So I am fourth year beekeeper this year, 2026, and I've got 15 colonies now, and none of which have been purchased. All been caught from swarms and then from splits from swarms. So year one finished with 2 colonies, year 2 finished with 5 colonies, year 3 last year had 17 colonies. I lost 2 of the queens that stopped laying over winter, so I've now got 15, all full-size colonies. I've got the 2 resource hives, which is the long hive and that long hive. Everything else is now on Langstroth 8 frame single brood bodies, and we'll have a look in one of those in a minute. But I've not treated since 2024, November, December 2024, so it's been just over a year, 13 and a half, 14 months now. And this is going to be the story of whether or not it works. We shall find out. Okay, so let's have a look at the configuration I'm using. I use 8 frame Langstroth, as I say, and on top of the 8 frame Langstroth there is a 5-inch eek, which I use for insulation and also to hold food. I've got drop boards on all of them, which allows me to see whether or not we've got any movement on the cappings, so I can tell whether or not they're alive in there in the dead of winter. If I can see cappings, I come out once a fortnight and wipe the boards off, so any cappings that are on there get cleared off, and I can also check for mites. Now here, this board was last wiped 2 weeks ago, over 2 weeks ago, beginning of the month. We are now in 15th. So, and you can see there are Varroa there, but there's very few Varroa. On there, and this was quite a well-established colony going into winter last year. So put that back in. So the way I overwinter, this has got a brick on it at the moment actually, which is telling me that they're getting low on sugar brick. One of the few. I leave the sugar bricks on all winter, but I think out of the 17 I had, one had actually sort of touched it over the course of the winter. So I use luggage straps to tie them down. They are easier, cheaper, and they don't seem to want to rust like a ratchet strap would. The lid. So underneath the lid you have a 5-frame eek, 5-inch eek. Okay, and that has wool in it. So to check them, all I do is take the lid off and then peel back the wool, and I can see what's going on underneath and inside the hive. It's not gonna show me. Let me see if I can get down in there. Don't see anything that's going on, and I don't have to let any of the heat out to see exactly what's going on in there. So this is one of the takeaway containers I use on top of the crown boards. It's got a lid and it's got a hole in it, so it just helps keep everything sort of isolated and it's easy to pull out and move off without bits and pieces falling everywhere. It's nice and easy to swap them out. The eek and the wool stay on all year round, so I don't have to keep carting materials and bits and pieces around, and it's nice and simple. Right, let me just put this back together again. So as I say, I've been going around in the dead of winter. I'm going around every fortnight just to check the drop boards and the food without actually cracking any of the hives. The hives actually haven't been cracked since September last year. That was the last time. So I mentioned the fact that you can actually tell whether or not there's life in there by looking at the drop boards and seeing whether or not there's any cappings been displaced. The other way I could tell was I had a hive, one of the hives this year that died out. When I lifted up the wool, I could feel how cold it was under that wool, and that sort of sent alarm bells ringing straight away. You could just feel the difference. So yeah, there's definitely it's definitely a good way of telling. So right at the moment in the office area, I've got various hive components stacked up ready to be dipped. So I use eco wood, and I'm just going through at the moment trying to make sure that I've got enough hardware, woodenware, to sustain me in the next few months. All the Langstroth hives I want to do Demeray splits on, so I need supers ×2 for each one, and another brood body ×1, and queen excluders. So I need to crack on and get all these floors and roofs and eeks and other brood bodies, and which aren't actually in here, and supers. I need to get them dipped. I dip them in eco wood treatment to stop them rotting, and then I spray them with Protec paint, clear paint, so which makes them look like that brown there. So if this is a topic that interests you, then please hit like and subscribe. And if you'd like to know more about the backstory and how I actually got to this position, then please have a look at the previous 3 videos. It explains everything. Thanks for watching.